Welcome to the fourth and final review of the evening. Up this time is A World of Keflings. Now, if that name sounds familiar, well, it kind of should. Because A World of Keflings has actually been around for quite a while, but before we get into that, if you haven't heard it, well, I have this handy marketing blurb. Keflings may be small, but their kingdom-building adventures are gigantic. Yeah, we'll get into that. Build a world with your friends in a world of Keflings. Harvest resources, construct robots, befriend a dragon, and help a creepy witch get even creepier in this update to the classic 2010 city-building adventure. Yeah, so this game is actually 15 years old, premiering on the Xbox 360. One of the games that really pushed the new Avatar experience, from what I remember, or maybe that was a Kingdom for Keflings. Like there was more than one
back in the day.
Yeah, I just remember there was more than one Keflings game on the Xbox 360. In fact, we actually had Ninja B on the program way back when, around the time of the Wii U release of this game. I bet you all forgot that happened. Like,
yeah,
but. And it's also worth noting the selling point for the Wii U version was you could use your Mii. It was less of a selling point in my estimation because, quite honestly, there was a lot of games, especially by the time this thing came out on the Wii U, that used Mii functionality. Like, kind of the other thing is, it's not the first one of these, at least I don't think, but it's definitely one of the pioneers of the casual, hyper-casual city builder genre. In fact, this is the game I was alluding to in the Kitty Builder review from not too long ago, because this is much more of a traditional city builder type experience. Only, yeah, it's hyper casual, i.e., you don't have to manage resources, at least not like you do in a actual simulation game. There is a bit of balancing resources, in the sense that there was this, in building houses, you were required to get snowmen, and there was a limited amount of those. And if you built too many houses, you had to break down the house. But you don't have to pay for resources, or anything like that. You don't have to keep track of that. It does involve more tracking than the aforementioned Kitty Builder. There are tech trees, though, once again, hyper-casualized. It's less of a tree and more of a branching path, like two branches, at most. It's involved, but it's not that involved, is what I'm saying. It's also, in order to do certain things, you will need to get certain tools, but instead of requiring a certain population level or reaching a certain goal, conquering a certain foe, various other things that city builders and 4X games and other heavy strategy affairs do, you just go out into the world and pick up the item you need.
Or send your Keflings to go take care of it.
Yes. Because, once again, hyper casual as it may be, this is still a traditional city builder, as you can see here. And what's important to keep in mind is in order to build things, you have to build them in the pattern shown on the blueprint. Like with this fire pit here, you have to build it in a square. You know, building it in, say, a Tetris Z block, that's not going to get you a fire pit. Or a triangle. You know, like the actual shape shown on the blueprint, as well as the items, is the important thing. And there's a basic resource gathering. Once again, it's very simplified. All you have to do, it's honestly more along the lines of an RTS game than a actual city builder, simulation type affair, in that you find a resource, you put a Kefling to work. Also, and this is important, do not forget to pick up the Kefling and drag them back to the home building. Or else they're just going to leave the logs or the crystals or the resource lying about. Like I said, that is very RTS coded right there. Weirdly RTS coded for a game that's, aping a city builder. And yeah, in lieu of having an Xbox avatar or me, you just have a generic giant, for lack of a better term. You can edit him or her. There's an option for it, but clearly less of a selling point than using your meta Xbox avatar or me in this game. And that being said, once again, there's not a lot to this game, and that's not just in terms of building your city or building your objects, but in terms of content. 3 lands, actually 6 now, because there was DLC introduced in the Xbox 360 version that's part of the base package for other platforms. So this game will last you a few hours, but once again, it's the downside of the hyper casualization of something like this. It's not going to have the content or the lastability as the big boy version of this it has. In terms of it being updated for 2025, I, outside of not having, the Xbox or me functionality there, I couldn't really tell you what's been updated, because, in terms of actual graphical fidelity, this game still looks like an Xbox Live Arcade game. From the distance here, it doesn't look bad. It does look kind of basic, but it's the Keflings. The Keflings look pretty bad up close. Very low poly, kind of ugly designed. I'm not sure if that was a limit of the Xbox 360, limit of the Xbox Arcade, or just a intentional graphical design choice. But it is there. Not sure if it's still using the Torque engine. I think this used the Torque engine, or if it's using Unity. Once again, we would have to talk to the devs to see what was updated for this release, and indeed why. Because, not for nothing, I've one of the big questions I've been having with this release is, why? Why did this happen now? What? Why did A World of Keflings reemerge here in the year of 2025 for Steam? I don't have an answer for that. Only NinjaBee does.
The only thing I can think of would be the delisting of it from the end of the 360.
Yeah.
360 store, and just for preservation's sake.
Yeah. And I can't discount the possibility that they might tell us, either in an interview or something that has been increasingly happening, is devs have been leaving comments on our YouTube versions of these reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes it's just, hey, thanks for reviewing the game, that kind of thing. In fact, we just had a developer leave some commentary on a certain review. Anyway, as far as this game goes, definitely more of what I would want out of a city builder than Kitty Builder, as in this is an actual city builder instead of it being a platform game with buildings attached to it. But still, the content being so simplified and it having no lasting power, that's by design, but that's the downside of that design. Also, the price, it's clocking in at $12. No. Just no. Maybe 15.
Currently, this time, there's no Xbox version to speak of.
I'm not sure how true that is.
Well, at least, a modern Xbox version, one using 2025 code, not original 2010 code.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if how backwards compatible this game is.
Yeah, I don't have my Xbox One on me to look.
I know it's not on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's not on Game Pass. I do not believe it's even in the shop anymore.
No, it is. I'm looking at the Xbox page right now, and you can buy it. It's just, the thing is, it is going to be more expensive overall on the Xbox platform, because yes, it's only $9.99 for the base version, but here's the thing: it doesn't have the DLC integrated. And it has 3 DLC packs: Sugar, Spice, and Not So Nice, The Curse of the Zombie Saurus, and It Came from Outer Space. All these content packs are $4 a piece. So along those lines, this is the better bargain. Still finding it a bit expensive. I'm guessing the $12 is taking into account the DLC, because otherwise, why isn't this $10?
Right.
So, still, for the casualness of it, $10 is about what I would recommend for it. Basically, wait for a sale. And indeed, if you're looking for a casual city building experience, this is kind of the gold standard of that. Or at least one of them. But if you're looking for something with actual depth, I know that's coming across as a bit of an insult. It really isn't, but I can't ignore the fact that this game is, very shallow.
Yeah, this was also 15 years ago as an indie title.
Kind of once again, it's one of those games that was kind of backed by a big publisher.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was a showcase for Xbox Live avatars.
Yeah.
Also the Xbox 360 version connected to a whole bunch of other Xbox Live arcades. Ilomilo, I think. Rascals and Ninja Bees Cloning Clyde.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also on the Steam service, but has no integration between the two games. Probably because Cloning Clyde came out several yonks ago. And this game is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
At least this port is. Like I said, it's still a puzzling port. It's a solid game. Just be aware of the casualness of the
This would be something you'd more let your niece and nephew play than you would sit and try and play for an extended period.
Yeah, it's kind of Bob the Builder to an actual construction program.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, it's fine for what it is, but you do. I cannot emphasize this enough. You do have to be aware of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, any other questions, comments, or concerns over A World of Keflings?
I guess since you have a full version, do you get to make your avatar, or does it just give you this generic one?
I addressed that. You do get the default, but you can edit.
All right, I missed that. I must have been paying attention to the game. Yeah.
All right, so that'll about do it for A World of Keflings here. And indeed, that'll about do it for this review session. So, coming up on the week ahead, if I can get to the proper page. Right, so coming up on Wednesday, September 3rd, we'll be welcoming Min Gooseman Lee of Ultimo Ratio Game. He is fairly notable in certain gaming circles. I'm not sure if our audience would guess it, but if you don't know who Gooseman is, he is the creator of Counter-Strike. Specifically, the original Counter-Strike mod. And now he's back with a new Counter-Strike type game called Alpha Response. And we'll be talking about that on Wednesday. Got to admit, not my personal cup of coffee. I've never played Counter-Strike.
I tried it once and got a little frustrated with it, but that's mostly because I'm more of the Halo, Doom FPS, not the quote unquote realistic FPS.
Yeah, Counter-Strike has its audience. None of us are.
It's fun to watch people who are good at it play, but I don't have the patience to get good at it.
Yeah. So, we're probably not, though, talking about the intricacies of 1.6 Counter-Strike wouldn't really be coming up anyway, because as I'll note from the marketing materials, he's the creator of the original mod. Not really not the Counter-Strike from Valve. I'm not sure. That's probably something we'll ask him on Wednesday, how much involvement, if any, he had on the Valve version. Yeah. Anyway, we do have a Friday show planned as well. Shouldn't have any interruptions with that, but we'll be welcoming on Friday, September 5th, Julian Marchetti of KI3 Games. I'm assuming that's how that's pronounced. I'm not sure if that's trying to go for some cute pun, because K3, that doesn't sound like anything. Anyway, they're currently creating Seed of Life. Seed of Life is an old school action adventure game. You play as Hope, a wolf spirit, on a quest to restore natural order. In your journey, you'll be accompanied by a bird named Letty. Use both their unique skills to explore exotic places, fight formidable foes, and discover hidden secrets. Banjo-Kazooie has an undue amount of influence on the industry.
I mean, we joke, but now is about the time people who grew up on Banjo and Kazooie are getting old enough to make their own games. So we're going to be seeing more of that.
So we should definitely ask to see if this is influenced by Banjo and Kazooie or if it's a coincidence. I'm betting on Banjo-Kazooie influence. Anyway, we do also plan to have a new episode of MSP this week, so look forward to all of that. And until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.